Hello!
And welcome back
To
to
the... Oh man, we messed it up. To Worship Thoughts with Laura and... We've always said Laura and Jim.
Really?
The last one we just did, we said Laura and Jim.
With Laura and Jim. Okay, well, I think it's more... No, honestly though, if that had worked out, it wouldn't have felt like... Wouldn't have felt true.
I think our last video didn't really have a awkward intro.
No, it didn't.
So it didn't really...
The awkward intros have grown.
The what?
The awkward intros have grown on me.
Oh. Yeah,
Like
the first one you were just like, are we really keeping
I
this?
was like, no. I was like, am I gonna go turn?
Alright,
Hello.
so today we are going to be talking about three things.
Mm.
One, we've brought someone new on the team, which is super exciting. And then we're going to talk about, what's the second thing? Oh, yes. You brought notes.
Yeah, we are going to talk about our worship culture, which we have simplified to 2 main points, and under those 2 points are like 3 points each. But yeah, really exciting. Just summing up our culture, what we want to be doing, and sending out into our church, what we want our church to like cling on to, and anybody else who joins our team.
Yeah, and then there's the third thing.
Just reflect, because Jim and I have been having these Monday afternoons to work on music, talk about culture stuff, talk about the future of Streams Worship, and this is kind of like our last Monday for a little bit. And so just talking about the past couple months and what we've been doing, and I don't know, how far we've grown, and it's exciting.
Yeah, tell everyone why we're not going to be doing Mondays for a little bit.
So I'm going to do Jess Baker's school, the Bible core course with YWAM, where I'm on staff and where Jim's wife Jess is on staff. Yeah, and it's going to be very full time. We're going to be inductively studying 10 books of the Bible, and then reading the rest of the books, and then also like hearing speakers on those different books or on different topics and stuff. So going to be really, really busy and doing a lot of homework, but it's going to be awesome. Just going to be like spending time with God all the time. Yeah,
so good. So far this week and last week, you've read through
Genesis through 2 Kings.
Nice. That's a big chunk of the Bible.
That's a large chunk.
What's been your favorite part?
I really have liked seeing that God is like constant and faithful and good, and it's also, I've just seen more of like these people like stop being so stubborn or like sinful, all these things, like constantly turning away from God. And yeah, I mean that's the 2 characters, God and the Israelites, and I mean I'm clearly not God, so I guess I can see in them like my stubbornness and my sin, and so it in ways that's convicting, but then in ways it's like, wow, look how good God is to these people. I can trust him to, like, he's still good to me. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, so good. Let's start with number 3. Let's work backward on our list. Let's reflect.
Yeah.
Over the past, how many months has it been?
Since I think June is when like I was, or was it a little bit before that? Mid-May.
I mean, COVID was happening. I think that's why I reached out to you and was like, hey, do you want to lead worship with us?
Oh yeah, like the very first time I think was like May 1st-ish.
Okay.
And then maybe a little before that, a couple times, and then I think it was like, yes, I commit to this, probably like June 1.
Okay.
I think we should say June.
Cool. So June, July, August. Nice. 3 months. That doesn't seem like super long.
No. Not at all.
What has happened in this 3 months? Well, look at this. Laura put together this amazing binder right here with 22 songs?
Yeah, like 22, I think around 22 songs. That's been awesome, and we were just reflecting that all the songs in this book were like, okay, we can do these songs. So that's, I think, a big accomplishment.
Yeah, in 3 months we can do all of those songs.
All of those songs, yeah.
And I knew maybe 2 of those songs.
Yeah, that's true.
Before 3 months ago.
Yeah. I would say also like we've grown in communication as musicians and I guess as people, and
our intros.
Yeah, this has been fun, sharing with the church like more of the vision, and yeah, I mean, what else?
You've led from worship, or led from keys twice.
Yeah, what the heck?
In the past 3 months.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So 4 months ago you didn't play keyboard at all?
No.
We put in some time doing some lessons, and you put in a ton of practice, and then you're leading from keys.
Yeah, that's that's crazy to me. That's really cool.
So good.
I'm really thankful.
Nashville number system. That's something new.
Yeah, I learned a whole new system of reading music.
Numbers instead of letters.
Instead of saying we're playing G and C. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been good. And I think in general, just like talking so much more about the culture and growing in like what should worship be and like how do we solidify this. I feel like I'm learning more about like how to lead a team, like from you teaching me, but then also just like I understand in a group setting like what we're both like thinking or where we're going with it. So like feeling supported while I'm trying to lead, but then feeling mentored.
Yeah, awesome. You've done a great job.
Thanks.
Yeah. Let's move to number 2 because I feel like that's a great segue.
Totally.
Talking about our worship culture here, we kind of boiled it down today to 2 main points.
Mm-hmm.
And the first point is
atmosphere of excellence.
Atmosphere of excellence. Good.
Yes.
So yeah, let's unpack that a little bit there. What does that mean?
Yeah. So definitely we mean like musical excellence, but not just for the sake of let's just like get really good. We definitely mean like musical excellence for the sake of creating a very undistracted and clear atmosphere for everybody to join in worship. And also I think that excellence carries over to like, are you putting in the time you need to like practice or to put together music or to communicate things? Yeah, like are you putting in that time? And I think that like really helps us in the excellence category.
Yeah, and I think the excellence thing really plays into what we're trying to do on a grand scale is have an undistracted atmosphere of worship. And so that level of excellence, when there is that level of excellence and there isn't mistakes being made and people singing out of tune or whatever mishaps could happen on a Sunday morning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That allows there to be an undistracted atmosphere, which is what we're going after, so that when we put the character of God on display, it's just people connecting with Jesus. And we're almost getting out of the way because of the level of excellence that we have.
Yeah, totally. And then do you want to talk about good character, and then I'm gonna pull up that quote.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so I think the whole atmosphere of excellence is we want people on the team that really have good character, good attitudes, because I think a lot of times that whole word atmosphere, right? If you're coming in and are grumpy every week, right? Then that affects the atmosphere. People can pick up on that, and then that's going to translate over into our worship time. There's nothing worse than like, I don't know, watching like a conflict between the worship team right before worship starts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not a good atmosphere that we're trying to set. So that's something that we're really striving for as well.
Yeah.
Making sure that yes, we have gifts and talents that we want to use for the Lord, but intimacy with Jesus is the priority before we utilize the gift, because the gift is going to be best used when we're walking in intimacy with God.
Totally.
You have a quote for us?
Yeah, but like one last thing on that, I think it's important that like we like each other, we like working together, and like even, I mean, our third point we're going to talk about bringing Isaac on to play cajon, and being part of our team. Isaac is awesome, and he seems to like us, and we like him, and it's just fun. I think fun is sometimes underrated when you like have like a job to do. You think that like we got to cut the fun, but it's like no, that's like actually so important that we would have fun together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then our third point was just like the atmosphere of excellence. Like we need to find what are we even getting at? Like what even is worship? And there's this really good quote by Dan Muller that we wrote down. Worship begins when the nature and person of God is realized. When you know who He is, worship is the natural response. You begin to adore Him and honor Him and confess and acknowledge the glory of who He is. Then the truth of who He is stays relevant in our lives and on our lives.
So good.
So good.
Yeah, and so that's what we're trying to do. Through kind of our next point is songs of content.
Yeah.
We're trying to put the character of God on display in these worship times, so that people can connect with that and be like, oh my goodness, that's who God is. That's amazing. And then their hearts naturally just start to worship. So that's what we're going after. Yeah. Good.
And you kind of said these songs of content. That's our second point. So we have the atmosphere of excellence and then songs of content. And kind of under songs of content, character of God for sure. Songs that talk about His character, and then songs of intimacy. And I think, and then the third is songs of sending. And I think we have a lot of the character songs, which are wonderful.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad that we have that. If we're going to be heavy in one area, I want to be heavy in that area. But then the songs of intimacy or sending, we don't right now have as many, and I'd love to like get more of those. But like songs of intimacy, like I feel like Set a Fire, when we do that, because it's really simple, I feel like there's room to be intimate with God, but there's probably some other songs with lyrics that are really like personal that I'm not thinking of right
Sure. Yeah, well, and that's just that whole kind of repetitive thing as well. And I saw something a while ago where it basically said that theology was taught through books in the 1800s. It was taught from the pulpit in the 1900s, and theology is now being taught from like the worship leader. And I think that's totally true. And so that's why we're real heavy on songs of content. And so a lot of these songs are telling the biblical story, because a lot of like younger people aren't reading their Bibles and they're getting all their theology. Is that correct or true? Like, no, we don't. We want people obviously picking up their Bibles. But if we're going to be singing songs and spending half the service singing songs, let's make sure that they're getting the full-on gospel message through that. And when I preached on worship before, it's like melody has a way of sticking with you throughout the week. You're probably going to be singing that melody, singing that song more than you're going to be repeating something the pastor.
Yeah. And I think what's important with the songs of content, I hate when I lose a thought. Yeah, but just that I'm like hoping I pick up on it as I keep going.
You're doing good.
Yeah, if people aren't reading their Bibles, yes, we do want to encourage them to read their Bibles. And if they are reading their Bible, well then great, double dose of like of like actual content. And I think us communicating like through these videos even of like what does this song mean? How should you connect with this? Because yes, God is worshipped through like just like melody and like general like music. I think he can be worshipped through that, and worshipped through if you're standing there in worship just thinking about him, that's awesome. But also if you are singing along, how much more will you be like head and heart in that worship if you understand what you're saying? I think that's really important.
It's good.
Yeah.
Number three. Yeah. So we brought on Isaac to play cajon with us. And what's amazing is we've been trying to figure out this culture. We've been trying to figure out how we work together. And we were just like, we want to be slow to bring someone else on. Like, we want to make sure that they're a good fit. And so bringing Isaac in happened way faster than I think we want to bring anyone else in. You know what I mean? And so just like it happened, we're just like, man, this guy is a great fit. And so I've walked with Isaac for a little while. He and his family have faithfully torn down the church, week after week, cleaning up. Do you know what I mean? And so I've got to spend some time with him. So I have some relationship with him, and we got to connect over dinner with Jay and his brother recently too. And so that was a good reconnection too. And then just having him come in on cajon, which he had never played before, never played cajon.
Come on.
He played it really well, and then I feel like even in like from practice to Sunday, he improved a ton too. And so what are some of the things that you like musically about Isaac's cajon playing?
Yeah. I mean, for sure, it only adds. Like, I feel like it musically adds, and it adds to the atmosphere. Just taking us to the next level almost.
Yeah.
And then just like as a musician, like he really like locks in well to the other instruments. So when Jim is playing guitar, or if I'm giving like whether it's a vocal or like a hand cue, like I don't know, he's just smart instrumentally. Yeah. And then in general, like love his passion and like joy. I think like everyone who was there on that Sunday that he first played with us, I think could tell and could see and felt encouraged by his passion, and then like they were passionate and excited about it, and it just like bounced back and forth, and it was just a beautiful atmosphere, you know, of joy and like celebration of people's gifts and talents, and I think he's like excited. And that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fun to have him on the team, and it was super interesting just to add one instrument to, you know, our worship set, and it was just like the dynamic is way bigger. So totally. It's awesome. We're excited to have you on Team Isaac.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Well, we will not be sharing any videos on Monday, probably till the new year, but we'll see you guys on Sundays.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.